Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
UFC on ESPN, Smith versus Clark happened this past Saturday, same day as the Mike Tyson versus other guy, blanking on his name, their exhibition fight, which I did not watch. I will never pay another penny to watch a boxing fight ever again. I paid for the McGregor versus what's his face? I'm really not, my name recognition is not clicking today as for most days. But anyway, ever since that one, I was like, boxing's just so boring. It's just, compared to MMA, it's not, most sports aren't as entertaining as MMA, and boxing is far from that. All other combat sports are pretty fun, including jiu-jitsu, but boxing is something that just, and all of the clips I saw from the Mike Tyson fight, it's like there's a couple punches and then they clinch. And it's just a lot of clinching, not a lot of work, and it's the clinching in boxing is pointless because it's not like somebody's going for a takedown. It's not like they're doing anything with it. It's like a rest period. It's like, I don't want to punch you, so I got in too close. But anyway, so I didn't watch that fight, even though it was a draw. I love Mike Tyson, don't get me wrong. I love watching his early stuff. There's some early boxing that I enjoyed watching. I'm sure there's boxing fights here and there that are fun. But as far as the entire card being anything close to entertaining, not even close to MMA. And this past ESPN, UFC on ESPN was a fun card, as they usually are. A lot of finishes, a lot of TKOs, a lot of KOs, a lot of submissions. There's a few decisions mid fight card, but overall it was fun. Anthony Smith and Devin Clark stepping in the main event slot. Late notice, Curtis Blades, like so many people around the world, well, mostly in the U.S., are catching coronavirus, which, surprise, surprise, a pandemic that's global. Where it's spiking everywhere in the United States. More and more people are coming down with it. But thankfully, the UFC doesn't consider the pandemic to be a hoax. They believe that coronavirus exists, and they do extensive testing. So when somebody does test positive, they're pulled immediately. So Blades was pulled immediately, which I think is good news for Derek Lewis. I was not looking forward to seeing. I'm a big fan of the Black Beast, and I did not want to see him lose. So I'm kind of glad that one was at least postponed. I don't know if they're just going to reschedule that one or not. But Anthony Smith showing up, took a 5-round fight, even though it didn't take 5 rounds. It was a dominant win from Smith. Almost got a twister, which would have been crazy, but ended up getting an arm triangle. Just a dominant performance from him. Against Devin Clark, who really wasn't able to show anything because it was the first round. I mean, it went to the ground pretty much immediately, and from there, it got ended. Smith got him in a triangle. I mean, pretty fast. The co-main event was pretty fun. Miguel Baeza versus Takashi Soto. It was an arm triangle in that one. Just overall, I think it was the first submission that Baeza had gotten. He's very hyped up during the card. They were talking about some story about him and another fighter fighting despite the organization shutting down the production because they didn't have insurance. And it was just kind of a crazy fight. But yeah, just that one was fun. You got who else? Porter versus the other guy, Parisian. 2 overweight heavyweights throwing heavy. I would say an overall domination by Baeza. The first round Porter, I should say. I think he lost the first round, but was able to get the last 2 rounds. Just had more gas. I mean, when you have 2 like giant heavyweights, like overweight heavyweights. It's pretty much whoever has slightly more gas in the tank. I mean, that happens for most fighters in general. But with those, I mean, it's just a matter of time before either of them get gassed, and they are both pretty slow. After during the first round, but it went 3 rounds. Went to a decision, which was all right. Ashley Evans Smith looked horrible. The other Viana just totally is, despite not making weight, she just dominated. She had hard combinations, great wrestling and jiu-jitsu, just overall, just a better fighter. The early fights, there was this newcomer, Sue Madarji from China. Great. Oh my God. 125 division. Just lightning fast punches. Just the other guy had nothing for him. Gordon had nothing for him. And it was just a dominant performance. And of course, Ostovich got another loss. She hasn't been in the octagon for a while, and I'm curious to see, because in last episode I mentioned how Dana White loves to keep attractive women around despite like being very unsuccessful in the UFC, and Ostovich, I would say, is one of the most attractive women in the UFC currently, and she has a losing record. She's 4 wins and 6 losses in her career. And I think this would make her 3rd loss in a row, maybe 4th. But if my theory holds true, Dana will not cut her. Now, I am recording this on Sunday, the day after the fight. So I don't know. Maybe, by the time this episode comes out on Tuesday, maybe she will have been cut. But I will be very surprised if she does. I have a feeling he loves keeping attractive women around, which, aside from the competition aspect of it, I don't mind seeing attractive women in the cage. I mean, female MMA is just as exciting to watch as male MMA. I think, as far as gender-wise, some of my favorite fighters are female fighters. But, as far as eye candy goes, Ostovich is right up there. So we'll see. We'll see if my theory holds true. But overall, it was a fun night of fights. I was not really feeling it. I mean, the week of Thanksgiving, I kind of got my week finished by Wednesday so that I could take Thursday off, just the rest of the week off, and not have to worry about getting anything done. And that kind of threw me off mentally. So I was just I really just wanted to go to sleep pretty early yesterday. I was pretty zapped, but I ended up watching. It was a fun night of fights, regardless. But next week has been obviously another change. Jack Hermanson is taking on Marvin Vettori. This is UFC on ESPN. Hermanson versus Vettori. It was supposed to be what's his name? New guy who's fighting. He's fighting Jacare now. So it's kind of he failed forward in this one. But Hermanson versus Vettori seems like a fun kind of UFC on ESPN main event kind of a fight. OSP is fighting Jamal Hill, which should be fun. OSP, not as... It's weird when you look at OSP's record because it seems like he's gotten a lot of finishes recently, but it's very spotty. It's very spotty. Very... Same thing with Montana De La Rosa, I think. Oh, no, she's the one that won the belt off of the show. I think so. I think it's been a while since we've seen her. But she's fighting next week. John Vellante, the guy that if there was like a male fighter that gets the same kind of treatment as attractive female fighters, it is John Vellante, because this guy looks horrible in almost every one of his, unless he somehow wins it. He's always like exhausted. His fighting is just like, he's like just one of those guys that like just throws punches. He's a brawler with horrible cardio, basically. And the last fight he fought was in light heavyweight. No, heavyweight, which this is a heavyweight fight also. So he's probably going to get gassed out. We'll see. Jake Collier, I don't know much about Jake Collier, but Gian Vellante is one of those guys who might as well be an attractive woman because I'm surprised he's still around. Anybody else? Louis Smoka, who's kind of got a spotty record. Yeah, just overall, not a lot of big names, but there's a few on there. And, you never know. It could be a fight card like this past one where there's a lot of finishes, which are always fun. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that card even holds together. It seems like every week, whatever card I'm previewing falls apart like days after recording, if not today. I could be fights could be getting pulled as I speak right now, but I'm not seeing any updates because I'm currently recording. But anyway, looking forward to next week's card. I'm looking forward to some day in the future where there's a break from UFC fights. I don't know when that's going to be, but I'm kind of exhausted every Saturday watching fights. And, I love watching them. It's just... it's tiring. I need a break. There's no seasons and there's no off season in UFC. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a break at some point, but I know there's a pay-per-view coming up, so that'll be fun because it's always stacked cards, and I think this upcoming pay-per-view is going to be one of those cards. Do you like to read? Do you like Kindles? Do you own a Kindle? Did you get a Kindle for Black Friday, for Christmas, for your birthday, for the holidays, for Hanukkah, for Kwanzaa? Did you get a Kindle for any reason whatsoever? Would you like to get Kindle Unlimited? What's Kindle Unlimited? It's unlimited reading and listening on any device. So you don't even need a Kindle. All you need is to sign up through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Kindle, and sign up for a free trial of Kindle Unlimited and get your read on. Either read with your eyeballs or your ear holes. Either one works when you sign up through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Kindle. Do it now. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!